Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm going to be officially updating you on some more latest news. Big breaking news now, leaking from the press is about 29-year-old Gareth Bale reportedly now it's looking like, according to the press, that Manchester United and Real Madrid reportedly could come to an agreement of Manchester United get Gareth Bale. Reportedly Gareth Bale's teammates want him out of Real Madrid, and the player that Manchester United have been heavily linked with since like 2013. We've been heavily linked to him since the David Moyes era. Basically, we know Gareth Bale, we know it concerned me, because he's injury prone and he's known for injuries and all that, and he's currently unsettled at Real Madrid. Currently, this is Real Madrid's worst start to his in La Liga for nearly 2 decades now. To update you guys on, reportedly Real Madrid, if they are to offload him, they will be demanding it says in the press, £100 million price tag for the player. So it did say in the press Manchester United and Real Madrid could come to an agreement for the player next summer, reportedly, but we have been heavily linked to him. We know, rumours, we've heard narratives about this story about Manchester United potentially getting Gareth Bale from Real Madrid, but reportedly he's unsettled with Real Madrid now. Real Madrid teammates want him out, and reportedly Real Madrid are willing to sell him for £100 million. So basically Real Madrid are demanding, they want £100 million for the player. The player that Tottenham paid 86 million, Real Madrid paid £86 million from Tottenham. We know he's Premier League proven, he's up the ranks with Southampton. We know he spent a lot of years at Tottenham, and he's been, he's won a lot of honours with Real Madrid, but we know the majority of his career he has suffered from injuries as well, and basically this is what would concern me. We know Manchester United and Real Madrid have been discussions and negotiations in the past about potentially Manchester United getting Gareth Bale, but potentially it's in the press now. Manchester United and Real Madrid could finally come to agreement. This might be a fake narrative, as it has been in the past. It may not be true, but according to what it says in some of the media outlets, Manchester United, could end up getting Gareth Bale, from the Bernabeu to Old Trafford, because reportedly Real Madrid are unsatisfied with the player. They're not happy now with the player because they've had a bad start to the season. They've just currently had their current manager sacked as well. This is a worst start to a season, like in now nearly 2 decades. Gareth Bale is the second time top scorer for Wales as well, and I think this is now his 5th, 6th season now with Real Madrid. Is the current players, but we know Manchester United have been heavily linked with Manchester United have been heavily linked with guys. It comes back on. Manchester United have been heavily linked with the player since 2013, so we've been linked to him for 5 or 6 years now. We know the rumours, the narratives that have come out, the stories about this hasn't been true so far, but according to this recent update in the media, that reportedly Real Madrid are willing to sanction Gareth Bale off for £100 million. Manchester United probably will be prepared to pay that. We know Gareth Bale's 29, he is aging up now, he's Gareth Bale, because we all know he's a winger. Very good in the air. He can, score goals. He can contribute towards goals as well. But, with his current, his injury prone, that's what would concern me, him coming to Manchester United. Because we know on that left-hand side, we missed out on Ivan Perisic, Inter Milan were demanding a price tag of £48 million. We didn't get him. And currently on that left, especially, Martial, as I said, doing very well at the moment. As I said, with Alexis Sanchez as well, he's currently our left winger. He plays in at number 7, really hasn't really made an impact since he's come to Old Trafford. We know PSG have the linked with him. A lot of Manchester United fans want him out. He's had experience being with Londonese and Barcelona. But PSG were linked with Alexis Sanchez last year. We know he's versatile. He can play numerous positions, but we know his main role is at number 7 position. As I did say in one of my videos earlier on, that basically Alexis Sanchez should be played, try playing with number 10, maybe try playing up front as well to see how he performs. Initially PSG were going to go for him next summer, but he actually could be sanctioned off in January. Could Alexis Sanchez, because he's only scored 4 goals since come to the club. He is the highest paid player in the Premier League, and he hasn't really settled in since he's come to Manchester United. So basically, as I said, reportedly Manchester United could potentially get Gareth Bale, whether it's in January, whether it's next summer. But reportedly, according to the press, it's highly likely now that, it's finalised that Manchester United and Real Madrid could now come to a final agreement, because it has been, a debate for the last 5 or 6 years. So with Manchester United being heavily linked with Gareth Bale, um, we know Real Madrid have been linked with the likes of De Gea, of course, but obviously there's something of interest because obviously Real Madrid got the pursuit of Courtois from Chelsea. This is why there's something interesting there, but Real Madrid are heavily linked with him. We know with the David De Gea situation that basically he hasn't signed a new deal yet. Jose Mourinho said he wasn't very confident he was going to sign the new deal with the club. De Gea said he was surprised by the comments. He was focusing on winning rather than his contract. Reportedly, as they keep saying, it says in the press about De Gea's refused to sign a new deal. Martial's refused to sign a new deal, because of Sanchez's £500,000 a week he's getting. This is causing a problem for De Gea and Martial to sign a new deal. So for me, it would be ideal if Sanchez does depart in January or even next summer as well. He failed to make an impact in the second half of last season as well. We've got Rashford that can play on the left hand side. He hasn't scored lately. We know he scored the winner in the Bournemouth game, but before that, he hadn't scored in a while. He's won everything here apart from the Premier League and the Champions League, of course. Same to as Martial. And, they are good young age talents, as we all know. But I think we need a more experienced player on that left hand wing, especially in Gareth Bale. He's one of them experienced players. He's 29. You know, he is quite a lot older than Martial and Marcus Rashford is Gareth Bale. He's had the experience. Rashford's risen up the ranks, at Manchester United since the age of 7. He is a Manchester lad. Martial's had experience of being in fans of Monaco. And Leon, as we all know, he's in fantastic form at the moment. As we all know, Romelu Lukaku is going to be, missing the Juventus game because, as I updated you earlier, he's missed training. He's missed the last 2 games as well as Romelu Lukaku. He's recently been injured as well. He hasn't been in great form this season. For Jose Mourinho was Romelu Lukaku. So we know Martial Martial and Rashford have been full in his spot in that central striking position as well. So I think basically Jose Mourinho's looking for a defender. He basically wants a defender and an attacker to lead the lines with Romelu Lukaku. As I said, but I think Gareth Bale, when he's on his game, when he's not injured, when he's not in bad form, I think he's a very, very good player as well. I've known him at Real Madrid play on the left. I've also known him play on the right as well, and he has won a lot of honours as well. But he's a very, very good player deep down, but obviously, we know he's injury prone, we know he's known for injuries, and that's what would concern me with him coming to Manchester United. He'd come here, if he was to come, he would be experiencing a new era. We know that in the past he's had, his Premier League proven, so basically, but we know he's coming to a different, we know if he was to come, he'd be coming to a team he's never played for before, he'd be coming to experience different facilities, he'd be coming to a massive club. We know he's at Real Madrid at this moment in time. Real Madrid are a big, massive club, even though, they've had a very, very poor start to the season. But reportedly, the teammates want him out. Obviously, we know Real Madrid had sanctioned Cristiano Ronaldo off in the summer to Juventus. That was €100 million. Juventus had paid for him. He signed a 4-year contract. He's on £500,000 a week, £30 million a year salary, something like annual salary a year. But reportedly, Real Madrid, want to sanction Gareth Bale off. The players want him out reportedly. I think that they're demanding to sanction him off, but the asking price is around £100 million. And Manchester United willing to pay up to £100 million because he's 29 now. He is aging up a little bit. He's a player we know he's very, very good when he's on his game. We know he's known for injuries, as I said. But we know Manchester United have been heavily linked with the players since 2013. The stories have never materialised of Manchester United getting the pursuit of their player. But according to this narrative, it might be fake narrative, don't get me wrong, I'm not guaranteeing it. But reportedly, Real Madrid teammates want him out. He's had a bad start to the season, this season especially, as the player. But it would be good to see him come in. He'd make an impact to Manchester United. We need a player on the left-hand side that can put more crosses into the box, cause more of an aerial threat, and Gareth Bale can do that, when he's on his full game as well. Because especially on that right hand side of Manchester United needs addressing as well. Teams have exploited us this season, especially on that right hand side, especially. Um, Mata for me, he used to play in that number 10 position, but this season especially he's been playing on the right hand side. I think he's a very, very good consistent player as well, Mata, since David Moyes got him in 2014, was it 35, 40 million pound from Chelsea? For me, I think he does suit more in that number 10 position than he does on the right hand side, does Juan Mata, as I said. I think, Mourinho needs to give Nemanja Matic a rest as well. Whether he plays him tomorrow in the Juventus game, tomorrow night, I do not know. But yeah, we have got a few players coming to the end of the deals. We could see a few players leave in the January window. As I said about De Gea, he's had experience in Spain. His family's in Spain. As I said, his girlfriend's in Spain. He hasn't signed that new contract extension yet. Potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. We know Matt Ryan's been mentioned in the press, from Brighton as well. He was a player like Club Brugge for 2 years, been at Blacktown City. He's also been Genk on loan as well, and now he's currently at Brighton. He has been at Brighton since 2017. If De Gea was to leave, potentially according to the press, Man United would, go for a shock, move reportedly for the player, the goalkeeper. As I said, but Jose Mourinho has missed on a lot of potential targets since he's come to the club. He got Lee Grant as a second choice goalkeeper. He got Doyle, that's currently injured at the moment. He got Fred, who hasn't, really hasn't been given the chance, since he's come to United. He has played a few games, don't get me wrong, as I said, but we have missed out on a lot of potential tags. We've been linked with Bale since 2013. As I said, we missed out on Griezmann a year or so ago due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban. That was very, very disappointing. Jose Mourinho's targeted a few defenders, that Inter Milan centre-back, the player that's won the under-16, the under-21 best player for Sevilla in 2016. He's been at Sampdoria. He's been at Inter Milan since 2017. A few teams are interested in him. Inter Milan want to get his contract renewed. Reportedly, Mourinho's also been interested in Toby Alderweireld and Harry Maguire, as well as Jose Mourinho missed out on all them. And Jose Mourinho may go for them in January. Reportedly, he's going to get £100 million spending spree to spend. He spent £360 million since he's come on 11 players. As I said, he hasn't had a good relationship, especially with top players, that have performed well, especially for Manchester United. He has had quite a few disputes, especially with Paul Pogba. We know a year or so ago he had disputes with Luke Shaw. There were talks about him leaving at one point, but it didn't happen. He's definitely getting more game time now as he did do before. I'm just going to have some of my sick. Jose Mourinho said tomorrow night potentially Ander Herrera could start. The player that had, in Mourinho's perspective, changed the game around when he came on against Bournemouth for the weekend. Recently, we've been in a good run of form. But overall, this is our worst start to the season for a long time. This is our worst start to a season, under Jose Mourinho. As we all know, considering the amount of money we've spent, considering the history of this club, with the success we've had, considering Jose Mourinho's history from himself, he's Premier League proven, he's won titles everywhere he's been, we should be in much more of a commanding position than this. There's been talk, a lot of United fans want him out. For me, I don't really know. We're not in the position that we should be in, Jose Mourinho's still convinced we can get the top four. The board all of a sudden are backing Jose Mourinho now. He was on the verge of getting sacked just about 3 weeks or so ago before the Newcastle game, regardless of that. The outcome, the result, it said basically in the press Jose Mourinho was going to get sacked for Manchester United. But if you've just tuned in, yes, have you heard the reports about Gareth Bale? If you can access it online, reportedly, the rumours are coming back. The rumours are stemming from Dan Bollon, the Spanish outlet, that he's linked with a move again to Manchester United. Reportedly, the Real Madrid teammates want him out. Reportedly, Real Madrid are demanding a price tag of around £100 million if they are to sanction the player off. But we've heard these rumours since like 2013, since the David Moyes era. As I said, he's injury prone, so that would concern me if he was to come to Old Trafford. As I said, But for me, Mourinho, he's a very, very good manager. He's proven it, in the Premier League with Chelsea, he won 3 titles. For me, there's been talk, a lot of United fans want him out. As I said, they're demanding new managers. Been talks about potentially Florentino Perez wanting Mourinho back at Real Madrid. Um, there's been talks, about basically Conte replacing Mourinho at Old Trafford. He's got an okay pedigree, not as good as Mourinho. He's won Premier League and FA Cup with Chelsea, and you know, first season he played for Juventus for us in his senior career. He won honours with them as well. He's also managed Atlanta as well as Conte. For me, basically, I'd maybe give Jose Mourinho a bit of time. Sometimes it does take time for managers to settle in. This is not Jose Mourinho's first season. This is his first season. This is his third season now at Manchester United. Sure, he should be used to the facilities at this club. He should be used to now. The players now, because this is his third season. I think considering he's had a lot of disputes with the players, they're not playing for him. But sometimes it does take time for managers to settle in, and you saw it under the Alex Ferguson era. As I said, it took him 4 years to win a trophy, and look, after that, what he succeeded, nearly 3 decades of fantastic success with Alex Ferguson, and since then it's just gone downhill basically. David Moyes wasn't good. He didn't have a good pedigree anywhere. Van Gaal had a good pedigree at Munich, but he wasn't good at Manchester United. But we know this is a totally different team Jose Mourinho's inheriting. There's still the odd couple of players, that Ferguson had that are still playing now. As I said, he's inheriting some of the players Van Gaal got, and Moyes got in as well as Jose Mourinho. But he has bought 11 players. Don't forget, I think defensively we're shit. But defensively we are shit, and Jose Mourinho needs to address this, and he's looking to do this in the January window. Top 4 for me at the end of the season isn't good enough. Considering this, the strappings of this club, considering the amount of money we spent, I don't think it's potentially, good enough for Manchester United. So recently we have done very, very well. We should have beat Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. We didn't. We conceded in the 96th minute. That was the first time we conceded since October 2009, that late on in a game. That's a stat to tell you. We beat Bournemouth, we beat Everton, the teams we should be beating basically, because we beat them under Fergie 9 out of 10 times. We didn't lose to teams that we've lost to, especially under Moyes, especially under Van Gaal, and now under Jose Mourinho. We would hardly ever lose to under Alex Ferguson. But for me, for Mourinho, maybe try and give him in my opinion, I'm not a Mourinho and I'm not a Mourinho out, because I don't think he's the only manager, only person to blame in this situation. I think we'll probably will get top 4 this season. But in my opinion, I just don't think that's good enough. And the expectations were basically, considering the history of this club, as I said, and Jose Mourinho being such a good manager in the past, as us basically winning another Premier League title, which we have failed to materialise so far under Mourinho. There still is time to get maybe a few more players in. We'll probably see a few players go. Potentially Eric Bailey could go because he's coming to an end of his deal. You've heard the reports of him being linked with AC Milan. Reportedly, he's only scored 1 goal since come. He's made 40 appearances. Man United got him from Villarreal in 2016 for 30 million. If Mourinho is to sanction him off, as I said, he's had injuries this season, especially as Bailey. He hasn't featured much this season under Jose Mourinho. Would want to cash in for the player in January rather than let him go on a free next summer. The player, we've got Phil Jones, who's been here, I think 7 years now, or 8 years, is it, or something like that. He was here under the Fergie era. He's coming to an end of his deal, man. He has an option to extend his contract by a further 12 months as well. Does Phil Jones. Got Mata coming to an end of his deal as well. But yeah, basically, if another manager is to come in, he might suss out, are these players, he might suss out, are the players good enough? We have spent a lot of money. We have got a good team, that just don't think they're gelling together properly at the moment. But, if a new manager were to come in, would he be able to suss out if the players were good enough or not? I think Mourinho should be sussing out, if these players are good enough or not, as I said. But basically, we could see a few players leaving January, especially Sanchez could be leaving in January. Depending on whether, if Sanchez does leave, because he's the problem, according to the press, why David Hay isn't signed a new deal because his salary is receiving, and Martial. Martial, I hope he signs a new deal. There's been discussions about him signing a new contract. He hasn't signed this new deal yet. De Gea hasn't signed this extension yet. Mata hasn't signed a new deal yet. He's coming to the end of his deal. And Bale could be going in January as well. So we could see a few players go. So Jose Mourinho will have to try and find potential replacements for them as well. Centre-back partnerships that have been participating lately has been Lindelof and Chris Smalling, as a centre-back partnership. I think Lindelof slightly improved this season, especially. I thought in his first season at the club he didn't really make an impact. Victor Lindelof, who we paid £30 million for Benfica. I don't really think he's done that very well indeed. But the breaking news is about Gareth Bale now. Reportedly, I think we need someone on the left-hand side, especially because I don't think Sanchez is good enough for United. He was very good at Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. He was there 4 or 5 years or so. I don't think he's good enough for Man United at the moment. So get rid of him. Get another winger in there who's, got more experience, who's old, who's older than Martial and Rashford and that, etc. And Gareth Bale would be ideal. As I said, the only thing that would concern me, basically about Bale is that he's injury prone. So that's basically the only thing, that would confirm me. Like, with Bayern Munich, Arjen Robben's known for injuries as well. But overall, a very good player when he's not injured and when he's in full form. As I said, he was good in his Chelsea days as well, was Arjen Robben, don't get me wrong. Yeah, so basically that's everything to update today. As I said, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. Subscribe as always. Tell me what you think of this situation. Take care. God bless, guys. And I'll see you all again probably tomorrow if more things update in the press. Man United play Juventus tomorrow. So I will be doing a match review on that. So anyway, take care. God bless, guys. I will be doing more live videos soon. Take care. Peace.